Richard said, how do you explain that there are people who strive to have transcendental loving joy with Krishna and attain not, and others could attain? Well, as I said, the Lord gets us in the position to realize where ultimately we're frustrated trying to get it ourselves. And we realize, even if you, like, say, if we're doing sadhana, chanting and doing this kind of stuff, we may attain it, but it's actually a gift. It's the mercy. And even though in our minds, I know this is the way I used to think, I would get these glimpses and connections and all of this, and I realized, well, I attained this by my own efforts. But the Lord showed me over the years, no, I could do effort. He showed me like I'd be effort, and still the result won't come until the mercy of the Lord comes. See? So the perfection of this devotional service is coming to the point of just sincerely, this is really the highest stage, is sincerely calling for the Lord in like a beggar. See, the Lord comes as a beggar often, because that's the mood that the devotees have. That's why ultimately they become beggars. And it's not a bad thing. It's just like Christians say, no, you shouldn't become a beggar. You should know that you have the equal opulences of the Lord. But the devotees, they like this mood of begging for the Lord's mercy. It enhances this love, and it's very attractive to God. The Lord says, oh, this person really depends on me. He's really like feeling himself that he doesn't own anything. People think they can depend on this and that and everything. But as our own growth as devotees is realizing, I can't really depend on anything or anybody. I just have to depend on the mercy of God. And that puts the devotee in great bliss. I know the more progress I make in that direction, it's just like, wow, this is so wonderful, Lord. You stay around more, when I'm in this mood of dependence. So it's the mercy of the Lord, and also the main thing is being favorable to, if this devotional service is around, which is rare, it's just being favorable. I mean, it can be a simple somebody coming onto our program here, and sometimes you see spontaneously crying and laughing going on here in this body, and all that. If whoever appreciates it and says, oh, this is really nice and wonderful, and hangs out there, person might just get the mercy of God just because of being favorable to a devotee who the Lord might be choosing to work through, and show these very confidential things, very unusual and uncommon things that you just don't see everywhere. So and then you realize that it is a gift. And it's always been that way. It's that way with Christians who experience ecstatic devotional moods. There are Christians, I know people that because of their faith in Jesus, very focused, intense, and surrender like this, they have ecstatic moods. So, and it happens like that. The Lord gives mercy to who surrenders. Yeah, and surrender, it's, as I said, it's a lot of times it's just being favorable. If surrender, it's like if we see the Lord's Spirit being like in the midst of a sangha, and you oppose it, you fight it, or you're indifferent to it. See, that's not surrender. Surrender is appreciation too. It's just like, oh wow, this is really awesome. This is really nice. So even, and actually, if one is just favorable like that, you don't even have to go to the thing of like full surrender and everything. The Lord will give one experience of God. I've seen it. It's just because it's a gift. Even, it's like the Lord gives the gift of the ability to surrender, because on our own we can't even do that. It's like surrender really comes from the heart. Ultimately, it's like, it's a heart thing. You know, and we don't have the heart. Well, the heart is in there, but the Lord has to awaken it, and it's like He gives that gift to be able to worship Him with love. I realize I can't even do anything like on my own. It's all the Lord's grace, even to be able to appreciate Him, to worship Him, you know, to surrender to Him. All that is His grace. It's like His potency. It's like, you know, I just don't have any qualification, but He's got all qualification, and any miracle can be performed by God. I mean, that's how I feel about it.